We have a special breaking news report as we continue following a developing story this morning. Police have confirmed a shooting at Bridgewater Plaza at Smith Mountain Lake. It happened shortly before 7 this morning.
WDBJ 7 General Manager Jeff Marks confirms that 2 members of its team died in this incident. Reporter 24-year-old Allison Parker and 27-year-old photographer Adam Ward both were killed. Our thoughts and prayers with our colleagues at WDBJ 7. Here's what we know about this incident. There is a heavy police presence in the area on Booker T. Washington Highway and in the water at Smith Mountain Lake. The shooter is still being looked for. We are waiting to learn more from police about his description and a possible motive.
The Bedford County Superintendent's office tells us schools are on a perimeter lockdown. Some Franklin County schools also on lockdown right now. Route 122 in both directions is closed through this area. Of course, we continue to follow this breaking news story on air and online at WSLS.com.
And again, 2 members of the Roanoke broadcasting community have died. WDBJ 7 reporter Allison Parker and photographer Adam Ward.
The general manager explained today what happened and more about the loss. We want to play you exactly what they said this morning.
I cannot tell you how much they were loved, Allison and Adam, by the WDBJ 7 team.
Our thoughts and prayers are with everyone at WDBJ 7, along with Allison and Adam's family. Jade, you worked the same shift.
I did.
You ran into these 2 a lot and worked with them.
Whenever there was breaking news, we would all be at the same spot, and I can tell you guys these 2 were amazing people. Allison, as they mentioned, very professional, always happy. She was great at doing her job, was preparing in between live shots. Just excited to be in front of the camera. I could tell she loved television. And Adam, such a nice guy. He always had a positive attitude, always said hi to me. He'd help me out if I needed to. One thing we always talked about when we were out on shoots was about sports. He was an avid sports fan, loved Virginia Tech football. So I know he was also really excited about his upcoming wedding. So just very sad to hear this. Very, very tough. They're both great people.
These are the photographs of the suspected shooter that we are just receiving in from police just moments ago.
Police say you can see the suspect holding a gun there, and we are getting these images also on our website. They are asking everyone to stay away from the area, and if you know anything about this incident or you recognize the person in that photo, please call police immediately.
10 at noon.
We continue to follow a breaking news story here at noon after a shooting at Bridgewater Plaza at Smith Mountain Lake. Police say the suspect was confronted by police on Interstate 66 and has shot himself. There's no word on his condition. Good afternoon to you. I'm Patrick McKee.
I'm Jenna Zibton. The shooting happened shortly before 7 this morning. 2 members of the WDBJ 7 team were killed.
24-year-old reporter Allison Parker and 27-year-old photographer Adam Ward were both killed. Our thoughts and prayers with our colleagues at WDBJ 7 this afternoon. The Smith Mountain Lake Chamber of Commerce Executive Director Vicki Gardner was injured.
Just into our newsroom, reports that the suspected shooter, Vester Flanagan, also known by his on-air name as Bryce Williams, has shot and killed himself. He used to work at WDBJ. This is a live look at Interstate 66 near mile marker 17, where the encounter between Flanagan and police is reported to have taken place.
You can certainly see no cars getting through there. It's not, the camera's not pointed toward where this incident's happened, but certainly you see that there's no traffic that is coming through this area on Interstate 66 in Fauquier County in the northern part of the Commonwealth. Within the last hour, Flanagan tweeted from his professional account, posting a video and saying, quoting, "I filmed the shooting," and then giving personal reasons about personal conflicts with the 2 victims that were involved today. That account has since been suspended. But we do want to continue our breaking news coverage now and bring in WSLS 10's Ananda Brochita. Ananda, bring us up to date with the latest.
You know, it's actually just been a very emotional day here, and like you mentioned, investigators identified the shooting as Vester Flanagan, also known as Bryce Williams, a former employee at Channel 7. Now, according to law enforcement sources, they say he shot and killed himself in Fauquier County. Now, right now, we're about 4 miles away from where the shooting happened. Franklin County Sheriff's Office is asking us to stay here throughout the investigation. Now, going back to what happened earlier this morning, according to the Sheriff's Office, the shooting happened right before 7 at Bridgewater Plaza during WDBJ 7's live shot covering during Smith Mountain Lake's 50th anniversary. Reporter Allison Parker was interviewing Smith Mountain Lake Regional Chamber of Commerce Vicki Gardner when the attack happened. Both Parker and her photographer Adam Ward were killed. Gardner is still in surgery at Roanoke Memorial Hospital. Now again, investigators haven't released too much information at this point here in Franklin County. We're expected to hear more at a news conference at 1 o'clock. In Franklin County, Ananda Rochita, WSL West 10.
Okay, thank you so much, Ananda. We'll continue to check in there for updates. Vicki Gardner hurt in the shooting as well. She is the executive director at Smith Mountain Lake Chamber of Commerce.
She was being interviewed about Smith Mountain Lake's 50th anniversary, which is coming up next year, just before 6:45. When the shooting happened, she was taken into surgery at Roanoke Memorial Hospital this morning.
Team coverage now with Duke Carter, who has been talking with members of the Chamber of Commerce. Duke, I can imagine a difficult day there. What are they saying today?
It is a difficult day for people with the members of the Chamber of Commerce, but details are still limited into Vicki Gardner's condition. I spoke to Roanoke Memorial Hospital workers, and they say that Gardner is currently in surgery after she was shot in the back. And again, we're still waiting to get details on, again, Gardner's condition. They're not releasing any more information at this time. But
Jen has just got an update that's coming in the newsroom that we'd like to share with you.
Yes, it sounds like Vicki was transported. She underwent emergency surgery, but she is currently recovering and in stable condition at this hour. So that's some good news.
That's right. And as you can imagine, we are hearing from people all over expressing their sympathies for this tragic event that happened this morning. Governor Terry McAuliffe sent his sympathies earlier this morning, saying that he is heartbroken over senseless murders today in Smith Mountain Lake.
There's just no reason that this should have happened, and I can tell you I've been a broadcaster for 35 years now, and only two other times that I have felt what I'm feeling right now in my heart was September 11th and Virginia Tech. And, you know, those were much greater numbers of deaths, but this hits so close to home. It's so scary. It really is. Good afternoon, everyone. We are continuing to follow breaking news this afternoon after two members of the Roanoke broadcasting community were killed this morning on the job.
A reporter and photographer for WDBJ 7 were killed while reporting live in Franklin County before 7 a.m. Vicki Gardner from the Smith Mountain Lake Chamber of Commerce was hurt in the shooting. About an hour ago, we learned the suspected gunman in the attack shot himself. It happened on Interstate 66 in Fauquier County.
Local, state, and federal police have been in pursuit all morning. He then led officers on a chase before running off the road and crashing. Once investigators approached the vehicle, they saw that he had shot himself.
Now, the suspect has been identified as Vester Flanagan. We are about to see a live news conference.
First and foremost, at approximately 1:30 p.m. today, the suspect up from this incident, this shooting, died at Fairfax and Nova Hospital in Northern Virginia as a result of a self-inflicted gunshot wound. I want to express my condolences to WDBJ 7 TV for their loss this morning.
I spoke with the general manager for Channel 7, Jeff Marks, did an interview with him, and he was talking about really how hard today is, the balance between getting the facts, reporting the facts, because people are turning to them for the information, and then also at the same time just having the staff come together and grieve. They're, you know, typing out scripts and then hugging and crying and that type of thing, and just really the difficulties of today.
We are actually, the material that we're gathering today from local communities who knew Allison and Adam and who know Vicki. We're sharing that with Channel 7 so they can share it with their viewers because they weren't able to go out and get it, because we all do feel at this time not as competitors but as colleagues in the media.
Absolutely.
The mixture of feelings is just sort of hard to describe.
This community is stunned tonight.
We begin our team coverage tonight with Ananda Rochita at Smith Mountain Lake, where the shooting happened. So, Ananda, have investigators mentioned any motive at this point?
The Franklin County Sheriff says that's something they're still figuring out. Meanwhile, heavy police presence still out here by Bridgewater Marina, where the incident took place, and the WDBJ 7 truck remains.
Vester Flanagan led officers more than 200 miles before they caught up with him from Smith Mountain Lake all the way up Interstate 66 into Fauquier County. Police here in Roanoke found this car belonging to Flanagan parked at the Roanoke-Blacksburg Regional Airport. And according to investigators, Flanagan drove the gray Mustang to the airport after the shooting and then switched over to a rental car that he had reserved over a month ago. Investigators say the rental car was the one he was driving during the police pursuit. Police have impounded the Mustang and they're processing it for evidence. Dawn Jeffries joins us live now. She's in Northern Virginia where that chase came to an end. So Dawn, officers there saw the end of this whole ordeal. What are they telling you now?
They did indeed, John. As you mentioned, this is basically where it came to an end. Just on the other side of this wooded area is Interstate 66, and that's where state police tell us that Vester Flanagan wrecked his vehicle. Here's what led up to that. A state trooper, her name is Pam Neff. She was on Interstate 81 at the 66 exit ramp. I'm very familiar with this area. I have family about 20 miles up the road. This exit ramp is about 18 miles from us. Now, Trooper Neff had just entered the latest description of the vehicle police put a be on the lookout for into her tag reader. Keep in mind, they had been getting a number of different vehicles sending out information to different law enforcement throughout the morning. She put that last information into that tag reader. Now, the tag reader is a device that scans license plates as they go by, sort of like in the grocery store when it scans your items. The tag reader scans the license plates, and take a listen to what she says happened next.
As soon as it was entered, it did come up with a positive hit that that vehicle just passed me less than 3 minutes earlier. I let my dispatch know that that vehicle has passed me, and I attempted to catch up to the vehicle, which was traveling eastbound on 66. How fast his speeds were? He was not going that fast. He was not going above the posted speed limit. I waited until I had several other troopers with me to initiate a traffic stop. The suspect vehicle did not stop. Eventually, he did wreck the vehicle on the left-hand side of the road. Exit my vehicle with several other troopers, and we approached the vehicle. Just a gentleman that appeared to be suffering from a self-inflicted gunshot wound.
As the investigation unfolds, WDBJ 7 employees are grieving the loss of their co-workers. General Manager Jeff Marks says all day the staff is alternated between doing their jobs and stopping to simply hug and cry. Outside the station, members of the community have dropped off flowers and balloons in memory of Allison and Adam.
WSLS 10 reporter Christina Craig met with Parker's former role models and her mother, Barbara Bailey Parker. Today, all obviously are left with emptiness and unanswered questions.
I still see the little girl in her, the smile, the beauty, the confidence, all radiating from her. So yes, I did see that little girl still, even in the grown woman that was doing phenomenal things.
It was a gut-wrenching morning for Paulette Symington, Allison Parker's former elementary school principal, and for loyal viewers.
I heard the shots, I heard the scream, and I was taken aback. I got up from my chair and I told my husband, I think I just witnessed something happening.
Family and former teachers say Allison was a well-rounded student, and as a young girl, she was prepared for any assignment.
Very smart, very intelligent, more importantly, vivacious and empathetic.
And support is coming in, as you might expect, from all different directions. James Madison University posted a statement on Twitter saying, quote, "Our thoughts are with Allison Parker's family, friends, and colleagues. One of 2 WDBJ journalists killed today. Allison was a 2012 JMU grad."
Many people in Southwest Virginia are remembering photographer Adam Ward tonight. Those who knew Adam say he had that special ability to light up a room whenever he went in it. WSLS 10's Bethany Teague spoke with several people at Salem High School today, where Adam graduated.
If there's one thing that Adam Ward will be remembered for here in the Salem community, it's his smile. Teachers, principals, and coaches are in shock today as they reflect back on their time with Adam. He played tennis and football here at Salem High School and was a part of the 2005 Spartan Football State Championship team. Those who knew Adam best say his life was never once about himself. Instead, he always put others first.
Vicki Gardner is the third victim and the lone survivor. People who know her tell WSLS 10's Duke Carter she lives for her community.
The chairman of the board for Smith Mountain Lake Regional Chamber of Commerce, Troy Keaton, is really saddened to learn that Vicki Gardner was shot early this morning. He spoke at the press conference and said Gardner was instrumental in getting people aware about what was happening right here at Smith Mountain Lake. He says Gardner is very outgoing and loved meeting new people.
On behalf of our own executive director, Vicki Gardner, who is an exceptional, bright light in this community, and we stand with her 100% and are praying for her.
While it wasn't public, Allison Parker and WDBJ's evening news anchor Chris Hurst were a couple. Today he spoke with us about their love for the business and one another. Chris Hurst holds up a special photo album Allison crafted for him as a gift. It's a compilation of memories they made in their first 6 months together.
We moved in after 8 months, which seems like it's a foolish amount of time to be moving in with someone where we were definitely on the same page of wanting to spend the rest of our life together.
Each moment in this book is a small piece of their love story. Chris says he never intended to date a coworker, but Allison was different.
She was so worth it because the way she would look at me, you know, you can, when you know someone loves you, there's a look in their eyes that looks through you and into you, and she gave that to me every single day.
WSLS 10's Bree Jackson has spent the afternoon in front of WDBJ 7 as members of the community have come together to mourn and show support. She joins us now from outside of the Channel 7 station as a vigil for Allison and Adam is being held. So Bree, of course, emotions are running high there. Still so many questions.
There are still so many questions that people want answers to, Lindsay. Earlier today, they did have a news conference here with WDBJ managers. They say that they were expressing their condolences, and employees here are still trying to understand.
At WSLS 10's Bree Jackson continues our coverage of this tragedy and is live outside of WDBJ 7. So, Bree, this has hit too close to home for many.
It's a tough day for many people. This tragedy has affected our entire community. People I spoke with today say they watched Allison and Adam cover the news every morning. And tonight they're paying tribute to those 2 young lives lost.
First is disbelief, really, that it could happen.
And it really hit home for me that this happened in our community. You don't expect something like this to happen.
Devastated is how mourners describe their feelings as they gathered in front of WDBJ to show their respect to Allison Parker and Adam Ward. Many say the morning show team brightened their day.
She was always so happy and positive, and just, it was a great way to wake up.
I know we weren't close to those two, but they felt like family.
Police say the 2 were gunned down by a former station employee who later killed himself. As investigators look for a motive to this crime, the community prayed for understanding.
At a time like this, you know, you don't know what to say, and that's okay. It's okay to not be okay.
Others wrote heartfelt condolences, sending blessings and love. Many are relying on faith for comfort during this tragic time.
Sometimes, you know, you don't know what to do, so you pray and you're there, and that's what we're doing tonight. We're just being there.
We come together in situations like this, and we comfort each other, and we pray for each other.
And the vigil here and the memorial here in front of the WDBJ studio continues to grow. You can see flowers, balloons, candles. One of the flower pots there says Allison, God's beautiful angel. A lot of heartfelt condolences being left here tonight. Now, we're told that vigils are planned throughout the week. We're hearing that another one's going to happen on Friday.
People are showing their support for Allison Parker, Adam Ward, and Vicki Gardner in Bedford County as well. The community gathered at Reality Ministries International, a church in the town of Bedford, and sang hymns. They also lit candles, had a moment of silence, and prayed for all involved in the shooting. People who attended the vigil say they want to show their support in any way they can.
This vigil took place in the parking lot of Westlake Cinema, 4 miles away from where the incident happened. Several dozen people sang songs, lit candles, and prayed for Allison, Adam, and Vicki Gardner, who, as we said, is recovering from her injuries.
Good morning. I think it was horrifying for everyone who was watching yesterday morning, as well as the loved ones who was also watching or learning. I'm standing here with Tim Gardner. We just heard from Carillion that Vicki has been listed in good condition. What can you tell us? What does good condition mean from your perspective?
It means that they can go back and fix the things that they need to fix that they couldn't take care of yesterday. That's what that means.
Have you been able to talk to her? How is she doing?
She's still in an induced coma at this point. They're keeping her quiet. I've been able to go in and talk to her. I talked about her with her sister in her presence, and she let us know that she knew we were there, and that's good.
And I can only imagine what this has been like for you, your family. You have 2 daughters. What's going through your mind right now?
I'm glad she's here. That's what's going through my mind. The rest of it is all blur.
And when did you find out about what happened? You said you were actually watching yesterday morning.
Yeah, I was watching, and I immediately tried to call her on the phone. And obviously, she didn't pick up her phone. But while she was being transported to Roanoke Memorial, she was able to call me from the ambulance, and we spoke while she was being transported.
Allison's father talked during a news conference at WDBJ about his beloved daughter and now his stance on gun control. WSLS 10's Ananda Rachita joins us now live from the station. So, Ananda, what are some of the issues that Mr. Parker believes need more attention?
As well as the sentiments of the citizens of Virginia. The McCulloughs have a daughter.
Allison's father, Andy Parker, says he wants to close loopholes so certain people can't get guns. Over and over this afternoon, he kept asking, what will it take for politicians to make changes? Parker says usually when a tragedy like this happens, lawmakers offer their condolences, but that's it. He says it really needs to stop. He doesn't want people to forget what happened to his daughter and the other 2 victims that morning. Parker says something needs to be done. He wants to see stricter laws so people with mental issues can't buy guns, and says this issue will be his life's work to prevent another father or family to experience what he's gone through, losing Allison.
Her life was full of joy, and she always saw the best in people, and she touched so many people, and that's why they loved her. And something like this would never occur to her.
As she continues her recovery, WSLS 10's Rachel Lucas explains how the community she was an instrumental part of is now healing.
Just 2 days after horrific acts of violence happened here, the Bridgewater Shopping Plaza has reopened, but the community is still waiting to heal.
At the front of the plaza hangs pictures of WDBJ 7's Allison Parker and Adam Ward, surrounded by flowers and letters. A tragedy the community can't quite comprehend.
Never dreaming, that was going to be their last time, their last day.
A candle still burns in their memory, a tragedy locals say will never be forgotten.
I hope I don't ever drive across this bridge and don't think about it.
Robin Zepp lives just 5 minutes from here. She now stands over the crime scene. Despite remembering happier times off the docks of Bridgewater, she says those memories are forever stained. The wood flooring has been replaced, and now only flowers remain at the scene that would let you know that something tragic took place.
Nothing ever happens here, and we felt safe.
Christine Crow visits every year here. She and her husband were celebrating their 33rd wedding anniversary on the lake when the shooting happened. They were staying in these condos.
I flipped on the TV and I just started seeing it, and the SWAT team came in and they swept our condo, and it shook us all up.
Police searched door to door for the suspect. Now with tears in her eyes after the experience, she and others who come here say as much pain as they're feeling, they can only imagine what the families are going through.
That was Rachel Lucas with our report. We will continue to cover this development. New tonight at 11, the grieving continues as Southwest Virginia mourns the loss of 2 young lives lost on Wednesday. Friends and colleagues came together tonight to remember Allison Parker and Adam Ward in front of Channel 7 studio. WSLS 10's Ananda Rachita was there as they all shared their favorite stories and memories.
I would hope that my own kids would grow up to be like Adam and Allison.
Tonight wasn't to talk about how Allison Parker and Adam Ward died, but about how they lived.
So many pictures have been shared of them, from personal Facebook profiles to professional, and I really think the pictures speak for themselves. If you guys look at them, They always had a smile on their face. They were always goofing off, but they always got the job done.
Channel 7's reporter Nadine Mazer said Adam was one of her best friends and made people around him laugh and smile.
Coming back from a morning show shot and would get a small tin of sour cream and onion Pringles, a pack of donuts, and usually a soda or like a chocolate milk. He was a grown-up child, and we loved him for that.
Their colleagues also shared their favorite memories, including how some of them first met.
Before I got here, Allison emailed me. I hadn't talked to her. And right then and there, she became my first friend here.
It was emotional for them and also people who attended the vigil, hearing about how Allison and Adam were so special. Travis Wells says the community has shown so much support, and it has meant a lot to them during this difficult time.
I think it's evidence that, as terrible as this is, something good can come out of it.
They say it's important to keep Allison and Adam's memory alive for others who never got a chance to meet these amazing people.
Ananda Rachita is live at Salem High School. So Ananda, describe what's going on inside.
Now, Adam's family asked us not to take any video inside, take any pictures or shoot any video inside, but some of us went inside to pay our respects, and I just have to tell you, hundreds of people are inside waiting in line just to talk to Adam's family and his fiance's family. Emotions ran high as hundreds of people walked into Salem High School to pay their respects.
It was comforting to me to know that the young child I taught in 3rd grade became the man that he was.
Judy Deal was Adam Ward's elementary school teacher in Trountville. She and another teacher said Adam was truly a gem who kids wanted to be friends with.
He was a treasure, got along well with the other children. He was all excited about science.
The love for Adam was seen through a long line inside the school of people wanting to share their memories with his family and loved ones. Some of those people include his Channel 7 family and the Salem High School football team. The Salem High School principal coached Adam in football and says this community is healing over the loss of one of their own.
Adam was what everyone's been saying. He loved life. He was truly kind to people. He smiled all the time. He wore shorts every day, no matter how cold it was. His dad told him he was a knucklehead, but he did it anyway. And he was fun, and he was genuine.
Didn't have real tears until after Allison's memorial gathering yesterday and this lovely service here today.
Tonight, as the community celebrates his life while mourning his loss, the memory of Adam Ward is very much alive.
Why those the WDBJ 7 photographer touched say he is someone people should strive to be like. He is remembered as a joker with a contagious personality.
Family, friends, and community members came together at First Baptist Church today to pay their respects to Adam Ward.
More of the legacy Adam leaves behind. Ananda?
It was a very emotional day as we got to hear more about what made Adam Ward so special. People laughed and smiled, thinking back about how Adam was like. Through all the tears, laughter prevailed as hundreds said goodbye. Adam Ward's childhood friend said it best. Adam was not normal. In fact, he was unique. During a celebration of his life today, his family and friends shared stories about his infectious smile and wit.
He had a sense of humor that would have rung through this just as the stories you heard from his friends and family rang through here.
His family talked about how Adam was the baby brother, and even though he was picked on a lot, he was a good sport about it. Mike Stevens remembers Adam back as an intern at WDBJ and says not only was he a hard worker, but someone you should aim to be.
No matter what you do in life, how you treat people, how you bring an attitude to work, or how you go about your family, be Adam-like. And that means have a smile on your face and treat people the way you want to be treated.
Outside the church, the road was packed with people showing support for the family. Many of them didn't get a chance to meet Adam, but through stories and pictures, they feel like they now do.
To lose something like that for a family, a community, a school, somewhere they grew up, it's just such a loss.
After the celebration of life, with the community standing by them, family and friends went to Adam's final resting place at Blue Ridge Memorial Gardens. As people said goodbye one last time, they say they'll keep Adam's memory alive by being more like him.